Hello and welcome to 90 Day Fiancé Trash Talk. I'm your host, comedian Tracy Carnazzo, joined by my co-host Noelle Herzog.
Guess who that is?
That's you.
That's me.
Yeah. We're on episode 22 here of 90 Day Fiancé Trash Talk, and I just wanted to let everyone know that we're really excited that you've been listening. Thank you so much for everyone that is listening. Make sure you're subscribing to us on whatever platform that you listen to us on. And if you listen to us on iTunes, can you please give us a 5-star rating and an amazing review telling us what you love about the podcast?
Please.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Guys, we're here to talk about The Other Way, Season 1, Episode 3, and we're also going to talk about Happily Ever After, Season 4, Episode 9. Let's start with the 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way, Season 1, Episode 3, and that's called It's Go Time. The description is, Corey breaks the news to his parents that he's moving to Ecuador. Laura is leaving her son behind to move to Qatar. Karini is disappointed in Paul. Sumit faces his parents as Jenny flies to India. Well, let's talk about Jenny and Sumit first.
Okay.
She's leaving before Christmas, so they're having fake Christmas.
Right. They're going to celebrate early.
Yes. And Annalisa, her granddaughter, is very upset.
She's so pretty.
She's really cute.
Yeah.
Her daughter's eyebrows. She has 2 daughters.
Yeah.
Her daughter's eyebrows
Are rough.
They look like she is in a gang.
Yeah. I was going to say that's exactly what it looks like. Like they're jailhouse tattoos.
Yes. She might have gotten microblading in jail.
Uh-huh.
I have my eyebrows tattooed on too, so I can't really talk about
but
eyebrow
you have
tattoos.
Hair.
I also have hair on
Yeah.
my yes, I do.
That's the thing. Hers are so dark that they're harsh.
Right.
And she doesn't have hair on them.
You think she shaves them off?
Yeah.
Wow. Her daughters have no one to contact for safety. So they're saying that if she moves to India and they can't get in touch with her for some reason, or they think something happened to her, or God forbid if something does happen to her, there's no one except for this guy, Sumit, for them to talk to.
Yeah. That's terrifying.
And I was thinking about that, and I'm really scared about that.
Yeah. I can't imagine how I would feel if that were one of my parents.
Right.
Yeah. It's terrifying.
Do you think that she should get a neck lift before she goes to India?
Yes. That's what makes her look so old.
It's her neck.
It's her neck. She has not good skin. Like she was in the sun a lot.
Or she smoked a lot.
Or she smoked a lot.
Yeah. Or both. Or she drank a lot. Or she was in the sun while she was drinking and smoking.
That's probably exactly what it is. But yeah, her neck, that's a big problem.
Every single day since the day she was born.
She dresses very young.
She does. She dresses like she's a teenager in 1995.
She dresses like my mom.
Basically, that's
Right.
what's happening. She's your mom without the mullet.
Yes. And without the neck. My mom doesn't have that
No,
neck.
she does not have that neck. Not a lot of people have that
My mom
neck.
is necklace.
Your mother's head sits upon her shoulders.
Yes. She has a neck.
So why isn't he coming to the U.S.? I will never understand a lot of these couples.
Me too. That's my question for most of these couples. But, okay, so he hasn't addressed it. I'm assuming because of his family.
Okay, but he's not into his family.
Right. But obviously he has like a little bit of love for them. I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't want to come. I don't know.
Does he not, though?
I don't think he wants to.
I don't know. This seems like really, really strange.
This is a strange relationship.
So she sold basically all of her stuff.
Sold her furniture, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
And her daughter and her grandkids bring her to the airport.
Right.
And Jenny's going to be arriving in India.
So he decides on that day.
Right.
That he's going to tell his parents.
Right before he goes to the airport.
Right.
He's going to tell him that he's moving to for a job in Mumbai.
Right.
Which is a little bit a ways from where they live.
So you're going to tell them the day that you're leaving. You're not going to say, hey, next month.
Next week. Tomorrow.
Next week. Right.
In 5 hours.
But you tell them an hour before you have to be at the airport.
Right.
Okay.
And he's actually staying in the same city.
Right. Which is crazy. What if you see your mother like at the goat stand or something? Like it's the craziest thing. Like,
God, like if she's sitting in line at the curry truck.
Yeah. Like what if she's waiting, to milk the neighborhood goat,
Oh, Noelle. This is going to be an awkward run-in.
I mean, listen, they could run into each other. That was the first thing I thought. That's scary.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Also, he found them an apartment, and it's in the same city.
That's crazy.
Let me ask you a real question.
What?
What's going on with his teeth?
Okay, so I think that he has a little bit of a speech impediment, right? Because of his teeth?
Because of his teeth.
Right.
But
so on top, the side teeth are longer than the front teeth.
Or are they just missing?
And they're crooked. No, they're not missing.
Okay.
The way they're placed, they grew in very wrong. Okay. He needed braces desperately.
He needs to get sponsored by Smile Direct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. So he goes into his parents' house to tell them that he's leaving.
Yes, and the camera crew can't come in. They kind of have to hide
because they don't know that he's doing a show, and he never comes back out.
Right. So he tells them he'll be in for 15 minutes, and it's like he
just
later.
Never comes back out.
Right. So they're like, did the parents kill him?
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Jenny has arrived in India.
I would be terrified.
By herself.
Yep.
And he's not there.
Put yourself in her position.
Okay, well, I could tell you this. Her luggage is empty.
Her luggage is empty.
That is staged.
Yes.
Staged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that were me, though, for real, and it was I did just fly in with all of my stuff.
Right.
I would be really anxious, and I would be very close to buying a ticket and leaving because I'm moving here from another country. You have to at least pick me up from the airport, and you can't even do that, and you have me waiting here. Maybe I'm making a mistake.
Is this staged?
Okay. The reason why I say yes is because I don't think that he would have waited until 1 minute before she was coming in to tell his
her
parents.
Luggage is empty.
Well, yeah, and her luggage is empty.
They're filming at the airport. So I think that she was been in India, and they're like, all right, take this empty luggage. We're going to roll around the airport for an hour. We're going to film you. Let's get this show on the road. Also,
you know why it's staged, too? She takes out her phone, and she's like, my phone doesn't work here. It's like, I'm pretty sure you knew that, you know?
You mean in India it doesn't work?
Right.
Weird.
Yeah, it was strange.
She also calls him Sumi.
Yes, which I think is how you're supposed to say it, properly.
All right, so that's what we will say from now on.
Sumi.
Okay. It reminds me of a small Asian girl.
Yeah. Okay, that's an easier way for me to remember it. Sometimes I forget, but Sumi.
Now, let's move on.
Okay.
To the most disgusting humans in the world.
I'm ready.
Paul and Karini.
I hate them.
Okay, so Paul says that. So if you remember last episode, Paul went to the airport and he came with 5 bags and he was only allowed to take 2, so he left the airport.
And he bugged out. He was so mean to his mother.
He had a tantrum. I was going to say a panic attack. He threw a tantrum.
No, he threw a tantrum like a little boy tantrum. Yes.
So Paul said, he's like, listen, I was bringing everything that I owned to Brazil. Mm-hmm. And that's why I had 5 bags. Okay, Paul. So I don't know if you know this, but we all know you're not moving to Brazil.
Right.
So there was no reason for you to bring your baseball card collection. No. Your mom can keep that safe.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to laugh right in the
microphone.
He
was the one burning down the house, not his mom.
Right. That's funny. That's really funny, Tracy.
So he's going to wait 30 days so he could bring it all. Because they said in 30 days the embargo will be lifted and you could bring all your luggage.
So why can't your mom send it to you after 30 days?
Correct.
Right.
So now he calls Karini on FaceTime.
Right.
She's dirty.
She got her hair washed for his arrival.
She went down to the local watering hole and had her hair
She did. She dipped it in the well.
And she had her hair set. She had it pressed and set.
He says her name the way Elizabeth says Andre.
It is ridiculous that he tries to throw an accent on it.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Karin.
Yeah.
Karini is yelling, lie.
And then she's like, oh, why, Paul? Basically, she's looking at him like, you're a moron.
Right.
So you're not going to come here because you can't bring all your bags.
Okay,
the kid isn't born yet.
But here's the thing.
What?
Is this the first time she's learning that Paul's not all there? Why isn't she smarter? I feel like this one's on her.
She's not smart, though. No. She's not.
She's learning English, though, and he's not learning Portuguese.
I know.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Paul's shirt, when he is FaceTiming her, matches Colt's recliner.
I I didn't notice that. I
It's
tell
deer
you, I was
camo.
focused on his hair. His hair is very bad this episode.
Well, he was getting prepared to cut a lock of it for his mom.
So, okay.
So he's packing now and he's going to go the next day.
Yes.
But his mom cannot drive him to the airport because she only got one day off of work and it was the day that he was supposed to land.
I want to
fly
know
out.
where she works.
I'm going to say Walmart.
I was going to say, well, yeah, something along those lines, but I'll take Walmart.
What were you going to say?
Home Goods.
Oh, I'm sorry. You think that she works in Home Goods? You think that they're classy like that?
Well, I don't know. My mother-in-law works there, so and my mom lives
Your
in
mother-in-law is a professional woman that lives in New York City.
But my mother loves Home Goods, and she lives in Kentucky, so I thought maybe it was like a big thing out there. I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe she works in Kroger. How about that?
She works at the Piggly Wiggly. That's where she works.
Works on the pig farm.
She works at the goat stand. So his mom can't drive him to the airport, and he tells his mom the dramatics with this guy. I may never see you again.
Okay, I think that he means like, Mom, you're old. Maybe you'll be dead by the time I come back.
His mom is like 55.
I know, she's not old. I don't know. Like, he's very dramatic, though. Like, that's just who he is.
His mom is like 55.
I know.
Unless she's going to age 45 years while he's away, I think she's going to be okay. So she gives him a gold chain that she may or may not have bought at a pawn shop or found in the couch.
Okay, so I'm thinking that was probably like his dad's chain.
But then why shouldn't she? She should have said that because...
There was a moon on that chain.
Really?
There was a moon on that chain.
Ooh.
And I was like, come on. That's my thing. And you know what I mean? Like, you're crazy people.
I bet you that you could buy that chain off of Paul cheap.
I mean, I'll try. I would try.
You should. She gives him...
A lock of hair.
A lock of her hair, freshly cut.
I wanted to know what you thought of this.
Okay, so last time she cleaned out her brush and gave it to him on the way out.
Right.
The ball of brush hair.
Right.
So when I clean out my brush, I throw it in like the waste paper basket, and then I have to throw out the waste paper. Like I have to empty the contents of the waste paper basket immediately because it's kind of gross to have like hairballs in your garbage.
Oh, I don't know. That I feel like that doesn't bother me, but I also flush it usually when I empty out my brush.
Oh, that's so bad for your pipes.
Oh, well, I don't know my house.
You're a terrible person. So I thought that it was nice this time that she didn't give him a dirty ball of hair.
Okay, I mean, I get that. People are weird when it comes to hair. I don't know. People are very strange when it comes to hair. After my dad died, I kept his ponytail, which is cool, right? Like,
Yeah.
I get that. But, like, my dad's ex-girlfriend came to my house, and she wanted his brush with his hair in it.
Okay, that's weird.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just feel like
Your
isn't there a
dad's
difference?
ex-girlfriend is a psychopath. Just throwing that out there. Your dad's ex-girlfriend called me to RSVP to your bridal shower and told me that she couldn't make it because in the 70s, they stole a child that she gave birth to in the hospital, told her the child died, and sold it in a parking lot. And therefore, she could not make it to your bridal shower.
You know, and sometimes, like, I wonder, like, why I'm so crazy. You know?
I have never wondered that, not one time in my life. So I'm just letting you know that.
Guys, this is actually a true
That was
story,
real.
too. I
That
want
was
you to
too
know.
real for
yeah,
everyone.
that's real.
Let's talk about Corey and Evelyn. So she had left for Ecuador a few days ago, and he is going to propose. And just like the people that come here to America, he also will have 90 days in Ecuador to marry her.
So now I will say I've been a bad girl. I didn't realize that they weren't already engaged. For some reason, I thought that they were.
Yeah, I don't think that that's really that big of a deal, though.
Okay. Because I feel like usually people on the show are engaged already.
Or have at least talked about it.
Yes. So why does everyone wait so long to tell their family things?
I think it's called television.
Okay, I think so too.
So he's like, listen, mom and dad, I'm actually stepping onto the plane right now.
Right.
But I just want to let you know that I am moving to Ecuador and I'm never even going to come back, never even to visit.
Never even to visit.
Bye forever.
Bye.
And his parents do not react.
Okay, they react better than most people's parents would have.
I think they were kind of like, this is not real. Let's just go along with it.
Well, I think that they think it's not real because Evelyn is
the craziest person in the world.
Yeah, that's
They're
why.
like,
And
okay,
they
let him
know
go
she's full of shit.
Sure. So it's like, let him go for a year. His dad's like, listen, she's using him.
Right.
It is what it is.
Right.
So now he plans to live off of the money that he earns from a cocktail bar in Ecuador that he put in her name.
Okay. So, number one, he has spent 40 grand on her.
Right.
He has spent all this, like 30 grand of it on real estate or
Sure.
something. First, I want to know if I could buy a bar for 2 grand in Ecuador.
Can we buy a bar right now?
What the hell kind of house could you get for like 30 grand? What? She
Right.
must have a mansion waiting for him.
Sure.
You know
or
what I
not
mean?
even really, not really waiting for him.
Right. But you know what I mean? Like, I want to know, like, she was supposed to get real estate with it. It only cost $2,000 for that bar. The bar was really nice.
He spent $2,000 on the bar, but he also spent $5 on beard paint to paint a beard onto his face.
Yes, he did.
So that was nice.
Yes.
So he's telling his parents, he's like, listen, in 2 weeks I move. And they're like, sure, Corey.
Right. And they're like, but Evelyn owns the bar.
Cool story, Corey.
Right. Okay. The mom kind of cries a little.
Yeah, she cries because her son's dumb.
But I think that's what they're upset about. Like, the father's like, I don't think she's really all that into him.
Yeah.
You know?
So now, his family, do they live at a campsite?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just checking. Because I
Yeah.
used to go camping as a child, and I think it was at his house.
Yeah, I go camp. I love to camp, and I think that I've camped there in
Yeah.
that place.
I've definitely camped at his house
Except he had a
before.
Mercedes. Like, I can't really understand the
Well, not
Mercedes.
anymore.
Right. Well, he sold it.
He told it to buy 12 bars.
Yeah, I was going to say to buy all the bars.
He actually owns Ecuador now.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
He's the president.
All the pigs.
Every single one of them. He has to get vaccines, speaking of the pigs.
So, he has to get these shots, and he's got a phobia.
Real bad phobia of
So
needles.
here's the thing. I'm very afraid of needles. I'm not afraid to get my blood taken. We've spoken about this before, but
Yes.
I'm very afraid of shots. So now we have phobias. I have phobia. We all have phobias. He says that this is like the worst thing that could possibly happen. It's a legitimate phobia. But I feel like if somebody, because I'm like afraid of vomiting. So if somebody said to me like, okay, like you're going to move to Ecuador, but like you have to vomit first. I'd be
Right.
like, I'm not moving to Ecuador.
Right.
then.
So it's like, how bad is the phobia
How bad is
really?
the phobia really if you're still willing to do
You
it?
love a disgusting, nasty person like Evelyn enough
Right.
to go through your biggest
Your
fear.
biggest fear.
His mom goes with him for the shots.
Uh-huh.
And the doctor's like, well, I've never really seen a mother come with a grown man for shots. I didn't think that was a big deal.
I didn't think it was a big deal either. Yeah.
He has to take a malaria pill every single day.
So I guess the people that live there have an immunity.
I guess
to
so.
it? Yeah, I don't
He has
know.
to take a malaria pill every single day until the day he dies of malaria.
Yes, basically.
Wow. So they're going to do these shots, and he's doing push-ups because he's having so much anxiety.
I get it.
I would never do push-ups if I had anxiety.
I mean, I've had anxiety before and like ran around.
You raise your heart rate if you have anxiety? Like,
Yeah, I
don't
ran
know.
around. I don't know, kind of trying to burn off the energy.
I guess. He did a great job with his shots,
He did a great job with his shots, and he only had to get 2.
and then he laid on the floor.
That's what I would have done.
Exactly how you did at our live podcast when we did our Teen Mom
Yes.
live podcast.
The only thing was he was face down,
Yes.
and I would rather die than
Yes.
be in a doctor's office.
I was
face
thinking about
down.
that. I was like, wow, he's like really one with the floor in his face.
Yeah, but you could tell he was like genuinely scared.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now we meet a new couple,
Yes.
Laura and Aladdin.
Aladdin.
Exactly.
That's how it's spelled, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his name is Aladdin.
Right.
She's from Toronto, but now she lives in Florida because she's retired.
Right.
And he's from Tanzania.
Right. But he lives in Qatar.
Sure.
And she lives with her 21-year-old son, Liam,
Who seems off.
who seems off.
All the way
So
off.
she has Liam tattooed on her and Aiden. So I guess maybe she has 2 kids because they were both tattooed on her chest.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But maybe one of them is just off and lives with her.
Yeah. And Liam, there's something up with him.
I also would move to Qatar if I had a son like Liam.
Why? I think he's really nice.
I would never want a 21-year-old child that attached to me when I had a hot Aladdin in Qatar.
As soon as I saw Aladdin, I'm like, Tracy, I bet thinks he's so hot.
Yeah, I
This
think he's
guy.
cute.
Okay, but like,
There's not a lot of good guys to pick from on this show.
okay, there aren't. But what's
in the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king.
You're right, though.
Yeah.
What's his angle?
I don't know.
Me either.
I can't wait until we get further on in the season because I can't figure anyone out yet.
Because I feel like it almost looks like he likes her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't get this.
Sumi loves Jenny.
Sumi loves Jenny. I for real believe
Aladdin seems to love Laura.
Because Aladdin's like, you could bring your son.
I know.
You don't
like,
do that if
daddy.
you don't like the person. Right. And Liam's like, I'll never accept him. He could never have kids. I'll never look at him as like a father figure. And it's like, oh, okay.
I mean, he's also 8 years older than you. So I get it.
No,
but also,
I get
Liam,
it.
No one asked you.
But he proposed after 3 days.
Yes.
That
so it's like there's
is always
going
something.
on.
Right.
So he works in Qatar as a personal trainer and he has a 6-pack and they met on social media, but they don't explain more of that.
Right. You don't know if they met on like a Tinder or like Facebook.
I want to know how he found her. She's like, he found me on social media. What was he Googling?
Right. What
like,
was he
gross?
looking for? Right. And she even said like, why is he talking to me?
She knows.
Yeah.
After a year of talking, she went there to meet him. And 3 days later, he asked her to marry him. Mm-hmm. Now, have you taken a close look at her hair?
Yes.
Right in the front. There was a little curl that was the color orange.
Really?
Yes. She had an orange poof right in the front of her head.
I didn't notice that.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I gotta tell you, I like Laura.
So do I.
Laura did something very Noelle-like.
Tell me.
Laura catfished her ex-husband.
Oh, yeah.
So her ex-husband cheated on her. So she catfished him and convinced him to shave his head. As soon as I saw that, I was like, this is Noelle's jam right here.
So I love that because the best part is she got him to shave his head and she shaved it for him.
And she's like, I couldn't even hold in my laughter.
Right.
So
that's what made me think like maybe she's my mom.
She saw him on a dating website. He had left his email out. So she joined the same dating website. She used fake profile. She made him fall in love with her catfish personality. She told him that she's only into bald guys.
Right.
And then he asked his wife to shave his head bald.
And if you guys know me, you know this is my style. You know I have a history of doing this.
It's the patience that she put into it that I love.
Yes. It's the patience. And you know what? It's so hard to do that kind of stuff.
It's very specific.
Without getting angry.
Yes.
And with just saying like, I love you so much. You're my husband. You're wonderful. But meanwhile, you know he's being terrible.
Yes.
Yes.
So now Aladdin said he found them a nice apartment. She's going to leave her son. And she's like, hey, Liam, are you going to come visit us? And he's like, it's really expensive to go visit you.
Right. Like, probably not. But he's like, but I'm going to miss you.
Right. Bye.
Right.
He's baby Colt.
You think?
Yes.
I feel like he has more personality.
We'll see.
All right. I mean, we'll see. Honestly, we really don't even know them yet.
No, she's shipping all her stuff over to Qatar and she's out.
And we don't see any Tiffany and Ronald this episode.
No, we don't see a lot of things, a lot of places, actually.
Yeah.
That's the real truth of it. Oh, that was a nice little ding.
Yeah, whatever.
So we're also going to talk about happily. That was the entire episode, by the way.
Yeah. Well, these are only 45 minutes.
These episodes are flying by.
I really like it. I liked it enough where like I watched this last night. It was the first thing I watched. And I was going to automatically go to watch the next episode. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, no, wait. I have other shows to watch.
Right.
But yeah, but I like it. Yeah.
So this Happily Ever After, Season 4, Episode 9, The Truth Comes Out. Chantel gets shady news about Pedro and his family. Larissa shuts Colt out after her second arrest. Ashley discovers the ugly truth about Jay. Andre spends money on his father, which upsets Elizabeth. Russ and Pao's baby is ready to make his debut. Okay, I just want to go back to the description real quick, and we'll get more into it.
Okay.
Andre spends money on his father, which upsets Elizabeth. That's not what happened.
That's not at all what happened, but okay.
Speaking of baby Colt, let's talk about full-grown woman Colt.
Okay.
Colt and Larissa. So Larissa gets arrested for the second time.
Yes.
And he waited all night for her to be released. As you remember in the episode before this, he was in the car. He needed his snacks. He needed his overnight bag.
Yes.
Because he was going to...
With baby girl in it.
Cookie dookie. He waited all night for her to be released, and she got out early in the morning.
Right.
And she did not talk to him in the car.
Right. She's shutting him out.
And then she went to bed. He goes into the bedroom a few hours later, and she has the covers over her head.
Right.
And he's so upset. He's making this whole thing about him.
I mean, I don't know why he makes any of this about him. First of all, it's his fault.
Yep, 100%.
Right.
So now he has to go pick up Debbie from the airport from her holiday.
From her holiday. Right.
AKA 90 Day Live.
Right.
He picks her up from the airport and he says to her, do you remember what he said to
her? That he could have been killed?
He said, you look cute.
Oh, yeah. No. You're right. Because I noticed that and I was like, and she had on a red turtleneck. Yeah. And I'm like, he just told his mother that she looked cute.
He's like, what he really meant was you look cute in my turtleneck that we share.
Yes. And he had on like
you fill that out slightly better.
Khaki-like pants. Very strange.
Noelle, you know it's hot in Las Vegas, right?
Yes.
Why do they only own winter clothes?
Because they do only own winter clothes, but I think at night it gets cold.
Noelle.
Yes.
How many turtlenecks would you need if you lived in Las Vegas?
I'm thinking maybe one.
I'm thinking 0.
I mean, maybe one. Sometimes you have a fluke.
A fluke what? A fluke Christmas holiday? A fluke holiday photo card shoot?
Well, Debbie was on holiday in New York. Maybe it was cold.
Debbie tells him, I can't believe I left. You could have been killed. And Colt says, I could have been shot.
I could have been shot. Yep.
Listen.
Give me a break.
She has court in a month, Larissa.
Right.
And Debbie said that Larissa should get deported.
Yeah, she's over her. She does not want her there anymore.
I kind of don't blame her, though.
I don't blame her because I feel like once Larissa came, like Debbie's happy, calm home was not that anymore.
Agreed.
So I can understand
but
that.
Also, Debbie, get your own place.
But also, this is all because of Colt.
Right.
Right.
So now they pull up to the house and the screen on the bedroom window has been slashed.
Right.
And they pull up and Debbie's like, no, not my favorite screen.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, what happened to my screen? And he's like, well, Mom, Larissa cut the screen.
I mean, don't you think you could have told her ahead of time?
Okay, but also what happened?
I know. That's right. Like, why was she in Deb's room?
That's a very specific thing to do, is cut her bedroom screen, unless that was her favorite screen.
Well, it makes me think she was trying to get out. Like, he locked her in there.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's the second floor.
But also, he'll never say, I locked her in here.
Sure.
Of course.
Their bedrooms are right next to each other.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird.
Super, super crazy. So, yes, you were saying that she went through Deb's stuff.
So, yeah, she went through Deb's stuff, which is not okay. I think she was looking for money.
Yeah, she's been looking for money. Deb's getting really jealous.
Mm-hmm. But I feel almost like, I don't know, it was weird. Like, his mom was there, and he's like, oh, look, there's footprints on the door. Like, almost like boasting about it. You know, I don't know.
Look, Mom, this is where I almost got shot.
Right. Look, Mommy. Right.
Larissa said that she got in a fight with him because of money, because he's cheapy.
I know, right? That's exactly what I wrote, cheapy. He doesn't want to pay for her phone.
Right.
And she feels like that's her only way of communication. Like, she can't have a job. She can't really drive. She can't do anything. All she has is the phone. So he, not because he's cheap, because he's controlling, cuts off her phone.
Exactly. So now Colt explains to her that they should be a team. They should stand side by side. Mm-hmm. She's like, listen, the next time I get arrested,
I'm done with you.
It's over. Because she knows there's going to be another time.
Yep.
And she's talking and she's like, listen, this is how it's going to go. And he goes, and you're ranting and ranting and ranting and ranting. And he literally just repeats it over and over again.
That made me insane.
And then he looks her in the eye and goes, I wouldn't want the cops to be called again.
When I tell you, that gives me a stomach ache just thinking about that. Because she said, are you threatening me? Like, she knew.
And he says, No, darling.
What are you talking about?
No, darling. Let me go sit in my camel recliner.
And you know what? Here's something that I hated. He's like, I hope this isn't like last time. Like, and she's like, what do you mean? He's like, 3 months of hell. And that means 3 months that she wasn't having sex with him.
Yes.
and he doesn't want that to happen again. He really only cares about himself, and he truly believes that he got a sex slave from Brazil when he got her.
He needs to get other hobbies like buttoning his shirts up and down.
Yes. Yes.
Let's talk about Ashley and Jay.
All right.
So there was a local girl commenting on social media on his Facebook posts.
And, she looks, as do I.
Sure.
I think we all do.
Now, as they're talking to Ashley in the car, she is driving with her knee up.
Yes.
How?
I could do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. It reminded me of like the people that like stick their foot out the window.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do that, but sometimes like I feel like I want to stretch my leg. I do it. Yeah.
So she said that he's, and this is a quote, practicing tattooing at the barbershop.
Right, which I didn't understand.
He's tattooing at the barbershop.
Right. He said at a few places he's doing it, but she can't say that he's working.
Exactly, because they can't say he's making money because they never filed his paperwork and he's not legally allowed to work here. She looks like she's holding in laughter, though.
Okay.
A lot.
Does she know the guys at the barbershop? That's number one.
Okay. Why would she even know what the guys at the barbershop? I guess because they had a cookout and she went to it?
I don't know, because it seems like they actually knew each other because they're calling her Ash. Yeah. And so I read that she said, like, on like her Twitter page or something, like she was going on a cruise with her mother and her children this week, like while this episode aired,
and
because
she wasn't gonna watch it.
A lot of this show is fluff, but she said like this was all real. And like her reaction was real, but yet she looked like she was laughing.
She did.
Yeah.
So the guys from the barbershop rat Jay out.
Right.
I felt like she was a really bad actress in this scene.
Look, she didn't really say anything.
Yeah. So the stripper was the one writing on Facebook. She was a stripper, this girl.
Okay, so question. The guys at the barbershop, they call Ashley.
Yeah.
They say, we have something to tell you, come here. But then she gets there and she
like,
has to be like, so will you guys tell me anything?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I mean. It didn't seem right.
Nothing seemed weird. It was a really bad script. No one really looked at the whole picture before they edited this together.
Right.
So one of them who doesn't have the hat on, has a
because they have the same face,
right? Has a painted on hairline.
Okay, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, a lot of barbershops do that. It's like an airbrush.
Really?
Yeah, it makes them look like they have a fuller hairline than they do.
Okay.
And this is a quote from one of the guys. He took someone in the bathroom.
Right.
So they're implying that he had relations with someone in the bathroom.
But we don't really know
now
anything else.
Noelle.
Hmm.
Let's talk about real fake.
Okay.
They showed a video of Jay being choked in the backyard.
You thought that was fake? I didn't think that was fake.
I thought that was 1,000% staged. That looked like a sketch video.
I mean, if they had all the cameras, I would have thought that they would have showed Jay going into the bathroom with the girl.
No, that's why it's supposed to seem realer.
I don't know. I did not even, that didn't cross my mind that was fake, because I thought most of this was fake, but I didn't think that was.
That is what I thought was fake.
Okay.
She's crying, and they say they don't want to get involved.
But then why did they call her? I don't know.
I say fake news.
Okay. Agreed. Because let me ask you a question. You and I went to the premiere party of this. Ashley and Jay were there.
Correct.
Not together, but they were there.
Right.
Why is he even still in America if this happened?
Because it's not easy to get anyone deported,
No,
though,
but also
right?
this was months before.
Sure.
Where is he living? Where has he been living? Where was he living in this episode that she's calling him and he wasn't at the house?
Staying with a friend.
How does he have friends?
The barbershop. Who knows?
I don't get it.
So apparently at the barbershop, they had a cookout and this girl met Jay.
Mm-hmm.
And Ashley says she was at the cookout. So that's, she knows exactly who this girl is.
Right.
And she keeps saying, he's gone. He's deported. He's gone. He's deported. He's not gone or deported. Okay.
No.
So now she FaceTimes Jay, and she says if he comes home, the cops will be there to deport his ass. Not true. That's not how it works.
No, that's not how it goes. They're not going to be like, oh, okay, he's here
Jason?
illegally. We'll take him away.
Yeah. Take him away, Jim. Lock him up.
With like a cane around his neck.
So she calls Destiny to tell her, and Destiny comes over, and she calls Jay back, and he hangs up. And he sends her to voicemail, and she's not using hands-free while she's driving.
No.
And he's like, everything that they said at the barbershop was true.
Right.
Even that was staged.
Uh-huh. No, that was staged. That wasn't the first time she approached him.
Right. So she curses him out, and she says that she will leave his clothes out for him, which honestly isn't that hard since he only came to America with like a suitcase.
Right.
So that's like best case scenario. She's saying that he's illegal because she never did his paperwork.
Right.
But that's not really how it works.
No.
Destiny comes with a bottle of wine. Mm-hmm. And Ashley's just ripping a picture of Jay over and over
and over and over again.
So now the girl calls her.
Mm-hmm. She distorts her voice.
Hello? Yeah. Hello, this is the girl?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Hello? I didn't know you were married even though I met you.
What do you think is going on here?
Right.
She said that they did all the stuff.
Right. Everything
Literally.
you could think of.
Everything you could think of.
Every single thing.
The girl apologized, and then
Right.
she said that she didn't know that Ashley was his wife, but
Ashley's like, but we met.
Ashley's like, I met you.
Right.
You were at my wedding.
Right. So
You were my maid of honor.
you catered it.
And then Ashley cries.
Right.
And now they both cry.
And then Jay shows up. But I want to know where he was.
Staying with a friend. I don't know.
Guess. I just don't know how he has
Dun,
friends.
dun, dun.
Yeah, I mean, everything with them is fake news.
Yep.
You know?
Speaking of fake relationships, let's
Okay.
move on to Chantel and Pedro.
Oh, Pedro.
She's in a hotel alone on the island.
In the Dominican. Can I just ask you, like,
Sure.
what is wrong with these people? If my husband left me the night before, I would have booked a flight that morning.
Left.
Bye.
She's like, I just want to explore some churches and some local scenes.
Right.
Like, what are you
It's
doing?
like, what are you doing? Go home.
So Pedro comes back to the hotel room to stock the mini bar, probably.
Right.
With her death liquid.
That's terrible, but funny at the same time.
He said that he came back to see if she left.
Right. Which is funny.
I thought that was pretty funny. Mm-hmm. And she said it hurt her feelings that he left her alone.
Yeah. How could it not?
Okay,
That would
but-
hurt my feelings.
Okay. I am on Chantel's side on this.
So am I.
But at the same time, the guy was like, listen, I'm coming to the DR to visit my family.
Right. Why are you there?
And then she's
Right.
like, okay, but I'm going to come and stay at a resort.
Right.
And he's like, okay, you can do that. I'm not going to come stay with you.
Right.
And then he doesn't. And then she's like, wah.
No, I agree. If I was her, I wouldn't even be there. I mean, that's really all there is to it.
Really
you know?
strange.
Yeah.
So he's like, listen, if you wanted to come to the DR, like you had to apologize to my whole family. And you had to fix everything.
That would be the day. You know what? She didn't have to come in hot. She could have tried to make peace with them.
That would have been the only reason to go there.
Yeah, no,
is
I
if
agree
you were
with
like,
you.
you know what,
I
I'm
agree
going to
with
swallow
you.
my pride.
I agree with you on that.
So she's like, listen, why don't we spend the day together? Mm-hmm. We'll relax. We'll go do Dominican Republic things.
Right.
You know, we'll swim with the dolphin.
We'll eat all the food.
Right. We'll go to an all-inclusive.
Eat some plátanos.
We'll buy a hooker.
Right.
Something like that. And he's like, oh, actually, no, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to spend time with my mom and
that was
sister.
mean.
No, but also, like, why are you here?
No, I get that, but she won't leave. Like, that's the thing. She's like a stage 5.
Yeah.
Like, leave.
Yes.
I would have left.
So he's like, listen, you can stay. I'm going to go with my family, though.
Right.
So now she's like, all right, listen, I'm going to stay here in the DR forever and ever and ever.
Forever. I live here now.
I'm going to finish nursing school here in the DR.
Uh-huh.
And you know what? What better time to be a nurse in the DR than when every American tourist is dying?
Right.
Perfect. So she meets with Obed, the family friend.
Right. Okay.
So now what happened was, and I explained this in another episode, so Obed was dating some guy that was a friend of Pedro's family.
Right.
And the same thing was happening. Obed's ex-boyfriend was sending money back to Pedro's family.
Right.
Which is so weird.
I know. I don't get that.
So he said that it was a setup by Pedro's family and they wanted to find an American for him to marry.
Okay. I mean, I'm not surprised.
Obed's ex-boyfriend was friends with knew Chantel.
Right.
And she had expressed that she wanted to learn Spanish. So he's like, oh, you should start talking to my friend Pedro. He'll teach you Spanish.
Right.
So she's like, okay, cool. They started talking. They fell in love. And she was going to go to the DR. And they're like, listen, why don't you bring a bunch of single girlfriends and come? And she didn't because no one would come. And she
went
by herself.
alone, which is even crazier to me.
Right, but also, if you told me I have to come somewhere, but I had to bring a bunch of single girlfriends,
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you know?
I'd be like, oh, this is weird.
But that's the thing, because I feel like she's actually like a smart person. So how does she not know?
Well, who knows? But now she said that maybe they wanted a bigger choice for Pedro to choose from.
Yeah.
Well, it was just her. And Obed was like, listen, didn't it feel weird? honestly, like, didn't the whole thing feel weird? And she's like, oh, I don't know.
Right.
Pedro sends his money on a tight schedule
right.
to the family.
Right.
So she calls her family and she's like, hey, listen.
She calls them, but she doesn't tell them.
She's like, hello, family de Chantel.
Right.
What do you think? And they're like, Pedro es muy mal. And they just want to get the investigator back. And she's like, no.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
But so she's like, things are weird with Pedro. Like, things are shady. And they're like what? And she's like, well, I don't want to tell you right now. It's like, but what? Then why? They're like, actually,
she's like, yeah, I'm not going to tell you. Can you call the guys at the barbershop?
Right. Maybe they have answers for you.
Maybe they don't. Who knows? Maybe they'll show you a video. Let's talk about my most hated couple here, Elizabeth and Andre.
Hate.
Okay, so his dad is coming to visit. He's very close with his dad.
Right.
Where's his mom?
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you remember anything about his mom? Okay.
So he's coming for 2 months to America.
Right.
And she goes, his dad's coming tomorrow, so I have to learn fluent Romanian. Elizabeth?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work, but all right.
You might need to take an advanced course.
Yes.
You might need the app.
That's really funny. Maybe you should. Maybe Chantel has someone for you.
She could hook you up with someone. So he tells his dad they're Skyping, and he's like, "Listen, there was a lot of drama at the baby shower."
Why though? It's
And his
because he
dad's
wants
like-
someone on his side.
I know, and his dad's like, "Shut up."
Right.
His dad looks pretty Italian.
His dad looks super Italian. Yeah.
So his dad's flight has been canceled, and he's stuck in Istanbul.
Right.
So she's like, oh my God, I'm so upset about your dad being stuck in Istanbul. Is he okay? And he goes, he's not okay.
He will go to JFK and be alone for 9 hours in foreign country he's never flown before.
Okay.
That's exactly what he sounded like.
That was good. So now Andre is going to fly to JFK.
Right.
Doesn't even make sense.
So first of all, a lot of things happened. It would have made me thought maybe I shouldn't go. Like if I was the dad,
Right.
It's like there was electronic problems, and then
Right.
a flight was on the runway for 4 hours.
Sure.
Then he missed another flight. That makes me think the trip might be a bad idea.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, so Andre's going to fly to JFK,
Right.
meet up with his dad,
Wait the 9 hours with him,
and then come back.
and then fly back. Yeah.
So stupid.
And it's $600.
So he's like, listen, it's $600. We're going to do it right now. And she's like, okay, let me ask my dad if he'll pay for it.
Right.
And he's like, do not ask your father.
Right. She's like, but that's half of what rent is.
But she's like, we don't have the money.
Right.
He's like, do not ask your father. She's like, okay, but that's where we get our money from?
Right.
Because you don't work?
Right.
And he's like, okay, fine. Just don't tell him that I know.
And then it's like, don't sabotage me over $600.
You don't
Over
sabotage me
$600.
over $600.
Which was very
He
funny.
talks like Borat.
He does talk like where he is, he's a lot.
My wife. So he's booking the ticket, and he says to her, we are all separate characters.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means.
Go pack my bag. And she's like, excuse me, did you just command me to pack your bag?
Right.
I will 100% do that right now. I am so
exactly
sorry.
What she I love you. That's exactly what she went and did.
Yeah. So now Andre flies to New York City, and he can't find his dad.
Right.
So then he finds him.
Right.
And then he says,
They
money.
seem really happy to see each other, though.
Yeah, his dad seems really nice.
Yeah.
And his dad says, money is very well spent. He says that about his dad.
Right.
So they arrive in Florida, and they take his dad to a 50s diner.
Wait, that's so funny. He's like a real American diner.
It's like
okay.
stop taking your dad to a greasy diner.
You took your dad to Johnny Rockets, basically.
His dad gets a cheeseburger.
He doesn't
and
know
he's
how
like,
to eat it.
I don't. Who ordered this for me?
First of all, that's what you get him, just a cheeseburger.
You get him a frozen patty cheeseburger from a diner?
That's what I mean.
You couldn't take him to Shake Shack?
Right? Also, like, the poor guy didn't even know how to eat it. You didn't even explain or give him instructions.
No.
He's eating lettuce on this. Like, he's just biting into lettuce.
So he said his dad was so excited to be in America. He said that he fell into a fairy tale.
It was the cutest thing.
He thinks he fell into a fairy tale in the diner. Wait until he goes to their house.
Right.
That is amazing.
Right. That has a working bathroom.
Seriously.
Uh-huh.
His dad didn't eat the cheeseburger, though. He barely ate.
Yeah.
You saw the plate?
Because he was probably like, this is terrible.
His dad's trying to fix him, though.
He is, because his dad sees that he's the problem. He's knows
like,
his
oh,
son.
come on.
Right.
Let's talk about no one who has drama, Pao and Russ.
Oh, God.
Okay. This was cute. I liked it. I'm glad they included this. So the midwives are at the house. She's been having contractions for a few hours.
I want to know how long she was in labor.
A few hours.
Yeah, it
So she was
didn't
having
seem like it
contractions.
was all that
No,
long.
I mean, it was like about 4 hours since the midwives had gotten there.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want
So
like a short labor.
he's blowing up the pool.
Right, I
Her
wanted-
mom doesn't like this at all.
First of all, I don't like her mom.
I don't like her mom either.
I get a terrible vibe
Very
from her.
negative.
She's very negative. She's not nice to Paola.
Yeah.
I don't like her mom.
Okay, so now she's like laying on the bed. The midwife is rocking her hips because they're trying to move the baby.
Yeah, and like stretch her hips.
She gets in the pool and she's like, okay, let me just like have some contractions in the pool. 2 hours later, she's still in the pool.
But wouldn't it? Oh my God, the anxiety that I would feel with all those blue lights.
I hated that. Put the lights on.
I hated that. Put the lights on.
I can't see anything.
I felt so anxious. I'm in pain.
I don't like
I'm
it.
in a
Put the
pool
light on.
in my living room and I'm in the dark.
Put the lights on.
Put the lights
Yeah,
on.
I hated that lighting.
Yeah, me too.
So she gets in the pool. 2 hours later, she's still in the pool. They pour water on her with a blender bottle cup.
Yeah, it was funny.
Her mom's super scared. So now
Her mom just goes to her room.
yeah, she's like,
Like,
I'm not
bye.
into this. 4 hours later, she's on land.
Yes.
She's
Yeah,
on
she
the
didn't
bed.
give birth in the pool.
No, because it's gross.
Yeah, it is so gross.
So now I think it's cool to like labor in the pool.
I think it's cool to labor in the pool because I will tell you, when I have a tummy ache, laying in
Yeah.
the bathtub helps a
Right.
lot. I asked Matt too. I'm like, what about all the stuff in the pool?
Yeah, it's
like
gross.
if she gave birth, he's like, he could just chuck it outside, and I'm like, I don't think it works.
They have to
that
have
way.
a hose to siphon it
Yeah.
out. Yeah. So there was a hose. They had a hose. Okay.
Gross.
So she gives birth on land,
Right.
on the bed. They put a wee pad down.
Right.
She did a great job.
She did an amazing
and so did
job.
he. He was a really nice
The
little...
tears that came out of
Oh my God, I cried.
eyes. Yeah, me too.
Russ caught the baby, threw it over to Pao.
But she didn't scream nothing. She was just like, okay. And like, she just did it. And it
Yeah.
was like, it gave me like chills.
Yeah, no,
it was
I
really
loved it.
nice.
She did a really, really great
She
job.
did.
I got to tell you, when I first met her on the show, like when we first got introduced to her, I would have never thought she would be doing a home birth.
Yeah,
So I was like,
definitely
all
not.
right, cool. She gave birth on New Year's Day at 12:22 a.m. to Axel.
Axel, baby
Love it.
Axel.
I love it.
I love that name.
So now the problem is the baby's a day old, and she is terrified to have Russ like do anything with the baby.
Right. She's very overbearing.
It's a day.
I know, but like, that's the thing. It's a day. It's not like the kid is a year old and he's still not allowed to
Right.
hold him. Right.
It's only been a few hours.
Right. Like, it just came out of her. She's still,
The only
bleeding.
The only thing that I thought was kind of weird that he said was that he said that he thinks Axel will help fix their relationship.
Okay, me too. Does he mean, because I'm hoping that he means help fix the relationship with her and his family
Yeah.
is what I'm really hoping.
I hope that's what he means.
Yeah, because babies don't fix relationships.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Oh man, guys, this has been a pretty good episode. We had so much meat.
Yeah.
Make sure you're following us on social media at 90 Day Podcast. You could follow me, your host, at Trixie Tuzini on Instagram and Twitter. And Noelle, where can we find you?
You can find me Noe_bear810 on Instagram or at Noe Girl on Twitter.
Guys, if you want to talk about the podcast, join our Facebook group, 90 Day Fiance Trash Talk
All right.
Podcast. All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.